Hi friends, Bonnie here. I'm back again to walk you through pages 17 through 21 of Turquoise and Tufa's annual catalog. I purposefully wore an old dress that I've had for at least a decade because often I find it's not even about the clothes, it's more about the accessories like the jewelry. And I have great jewelry to show you now. Thank you so much for being here with me as I get to do a little show and tell. I want to start out with a pair of earrings. Before I put the earrings on, take a look at me. Notice how plain I look. And I want to put these on and you'll see what a difference it makes. I think before I put them on, I'll show them to you. That is Natural Ithaca Peak Turquoise. And where did I put the other one? They are by Perry Shorty. A few months ago, Navajo artist Perry Shorty called me and asked if I wanted anything for the catalog. And I said, absolutely, I want some earrings. And he told me that he hasn't made earrings in a while. And I could tell because I haven't seen very many of his earrings out there. So he did these for me, and he told me that earrings can be a bit of a bear. First of all, because you have to have two matched turquoise stones. And if you know Perry, you know that he only works with fine natural turquoise. And it's hard, he said, these days with turquoise more and more rare to find two perfectly matched stones. So he did find this Ithaca Peak turquoise for me and made these amazing earrings. He said they're so detail oriented when you're doing these little tiny dangles, but they came out and I'm so thrilled to have them to offer you. See that? How just a pair of earrings can already start making a big difference. Next, I want to show you this great Knifewing figure. It's a vintage Zuni Knifewing, a really beautiful vintage Zuni Knifewing. Look at the detail on him. And he interestingly is set with red spiny oyster shell rather than coral, which is a great detail. Notice the carving and his wings. He's so lovely. He is likely the work of Bowman Paiwa, although I'm very hesitant to do firm attributions on the historic Zuni work. He's also from the ex-Norman Rockwell, the painter. Yes, that Norman Rockwell. He's from the family collection. I think that he belonged to Norman Rockwell's daughter-in-law, if I'm not mistaken. Such a great piece. Now, look at my plain black dress with just a pair of earrings and a pin. What a difference, right? Striking difference. All of a sudden, my black canvas that is more than a decade old and probably worth nothing. I think I got it on sale way back when, but it starts looking really good, doesn't it? Okay, the next piece I have is another super exciting one. It is a bracelet by the renowned early silversmith Fred Peshlakai. And while this one is unsigned, I do feel safe doing a firm attribution on it because I have a letter of attribution on this piece. In fact, it was even in an exhibit in 2016 called Fred Peshlakai, His Life and Art. And the stamps on it are all Fred's stamps. Sometimes when we have pieces that are unsigned, that's how we can identify them by the stamp work. Look at that nice stone. I think it's said to be Lone Mountain turquoise in the documentation. This one is a little bit too big for me. It's a narrower cuff, but certainly has presence. And it could be opened or closed to fit. Moving to the next page, I'm going to take out the Perrys for these and give you a different look, but an absolutely stunning look. It's interesting because these, as we know, are contemporary, even though they're done in old style Navajo. And these next earrings I'm going to put on are early Zuni, and big and bold and ridiculously well done. Look at these. I was telling you earlier in another video that you just don't find these great old earrings anymore. And look at the nice variegated turquoise there. You have some greens, some blues. These are all you need, and they're just incredible. Look at these. I'll put them in. Let me get some bags for you. These come from the collection of a woman who probably has one of the finest Zuni collections in private hands. I actually have a few earrings in the catalog that come from her collection because every year I hope that she will let something go and allow me to pass it on to some of you. Again, I want you to remember, I keep emphasizing this in each video, but on camera, these pieces look smaller than they are in real life. So you can only imagine what they look like in real life. Even though these are big and bold and multi-tiered, they're not too heavy for me. And I have somewhat sensitive ears. These are earrings that, oh my goodness, I would love to own if I didn't feel like I had a commitment to sell them to you. But look how beautiful those are. Just truly, truly stunning. They do have a high price, but you're not going to find ones out there like this very easily. So definitely collectible, definitely gorgeous. My only pair of clip earrings in the whole catalog, and if you'd like, I can have them converted to posts. They're so lovely. They're beautiful handmade silver conchos by Sylvia Begay, and they're signed I think that every collector needs a nice little pair of the button concho earrings. And what better artist to have a pair from than Sylvia Begay? Perry called me and he said, would you like to buy a coin silver bracelet? And I said, absolutely. And here it is. It's a great one that he sold me. This is carinated, meaning the two sides come to a point here. I think Perry calls this a triangle bracelet. And look at the terminals. See the terminals there? This is coin silver. And what this means is Perry Shorty works in the old way. He melts down silver coins and then he shapes them into this bracelet. It's amazing. That's how the oldest Navajo and Pueblo silver work was done, and Perry follows that. Simple stamping, but so precise, and it's lined up on both sides. Something really interesting about this piece, I received it when I was on the way somewhere with my mom, and my mom has seen countless pieces of jewelry. My mom opened it with me when we were in the car driving away, and she was just taken by this. I've never seen her so taken with a piece than I saw her with this bracelet. She just turned it over and over and over in her hands, admiring it, and asked me about coin silver and asked me again about Perry Shorty. And it was such a good reminder for me of how sometimes a certain piece is just magic to a certain person. This piece certainly has the magic. I saw it happen with my mom, and it brought tears to my eyes. And I will remember that for the rest of my life, the way this piece in particular, out of all of the pieces that I have handled, touched her. Okay, moving on to another really special necklace. This one was in Marty Screever's private collection. And Marty used to work with Latina Tsikewa of Zuni Pueblo. She's a fetish carver. And Marty had a lot of Lavina's loose fetishes, birds and all kinds of other animals you can see here, so beautifully done. Marty also had this old handmade hishi that she purchased from someone at Kewa or Santo Domingo Pueblo. She decided to have the Lavina fetishes put on this hishi in order to make this fetish necklace. And quite a necklace it is. Even on my black, you can see how striking it is. The animals are so sweet. They're so whimsical. Every single one of these little animals has a little personality. And did I tell you how many animals there are? I don't think I did. But you have all kinds of different stones, turquoise, serpentine, pipestone, shells. And it's so neat that Marty had these fetishes that she purchased from Lavina and then had them strung into a necklace for her to wear and enjoy. Okay, this is kind of an unusual combo, isn't it? Because I have this vintage fetish necklace and I have it with highly contemporary earrings by Gail, Bird, and Yazzie Johnson. And yet, don't you think it works? I really like the way it came together on the page. Putting all of these pieces together, as you might imagine, is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, because I wind up with a certain number of pieces that I want to show in the catalog. And if I'm not arranging them by artist or culture, I have to figure out how in the world to arrange them. And it's a lot of trial and error to see what looks best together. But I felt like these looked amazing with the fetish necklace. Let me hold those up close. Well, they're not catching the light. You can kind of see them. You can kind of see them there. As I move them around, they have an opalescence to them and an iridescence. They are spectralite stones by Yazzie Johnson and Gail Bird, but that gives you a little bit of an idea. They're very striking. They're very dressy. They belong at a nice dinner, a great special affair, special occasion, the Santa Fe Opera, something like that. And I love the way that you can wear something highly contemporary with something vintage and a little bit more rustic like this necklace. It just goes. It just works. We're going to skip ahead, okay? We'll skip ahead and then I'll try to go back. I'm going to move on to this Shirley Bahe pendant. Sorry, it's a pen. It could be a pendant. Look at the size of this thing. It is so well done. So beautiful. You see them done by Navajo artists. You see them done by Zuni artists. Shirley is a Navajo artist. It's handmade, set with really beautiful, bright turquoise. And yeah, you could put that right in the center of something you were wearing. You could put it off to the side, but this is just absolutely stellar. Another piece I have for you that I'm really excited to show you. This comes from Marty Strieber's collection. Look at these fish on the terminals. How cool is it to have these fish? And if you happen to have, let's see if I can pull it for you. I'm not sure. Yes. If you happen to have this catalog of the Druckman collection, which I absolutely adore because it is filled with whimsy. Lots of pins like what I've been showing you, but lots of animal jewelry and just other fun pieces. This bracelet appears in this Druckman collection catalog. Let me show you if I can find it really quickly. Here it is. That is the bracelet. And there she is. So you've got one that is published in one of my favorite little catalogs that also came from Marty Strieber's private collection. I think it's so neat. And just as an aside, if you can find this, I think you'll be delighted. It's just fun. Like, here's a skier. There's so many. Here's some horse. That's a horse piece, a lot like the horse that I showed you earlier. Just really fun stuff that's after my heart. So if you can find this Druckman collection catalog, it's worth having. These are great. They were originally sold to one of my friends by Marty Strieber, and she allowed me to have them for the catalog. It's kind of funny because my friend initially consigned these in to me a few years ago, and then she said right when I got them, no, I'm not ready to let them go, but now she's ready. These are big, as you can see, in bold, hand cut silver, hand stamped. Notice the little finding right there that is brass, and these scalloped bead portions, you have a little bit of depth there. They make such a beautiful statement. Again, earrings are one of my very favorite types of jewelry, and I feel like this year the earrings are just incredible, and I don't know how I would choose if I were you. I don't know how I would choose one pair of earrings. Let's see. That's these. And then I have this great little button. It's an old little button. There's the little sew loop. This is from Marty's private collection. I think back in the day, she paid $125 for it. So pretty. You could have it made into a pin. You could keep it as a button and sew it onto a handbag, sew it onto one of your boots or shoes for this little asymmetrical offset look. It doesn't just have to go onto an article of clothing. Okay, I told you all earlier on in the catalog when we looked at the bolos that were by Sosie and Mary Taylor, that they came from the collection of an artist who had just a very few select pieces of jewelry that for him captured a quintessential sense of design. And this is one of his other pieces. This is an earlier Zuni Rainbow Man. It's so well done. Look at the turquoise in there and the coral. And this is a larger size For those men out there who are looking for a large bracelet, it's really a striking piece. I feel like with Zuni inlay, this vintage Zuni inlay work, the old stuff, that it just asks to be admired. It's the kind of stuff that if you wear here in the Southwest, people know what it is, they recognize it. But if you wear it anywhere else, people will come up and say, "What is that?" Because they don't do anything like this anywhere else in the world except for the tiny little Zuni Pueblo. I should say they don't authentically do anything else like this anywhere else in the world, because they do make fake Zuni jewelry overseas, but this is not one of those. This is a real, authentic, beautiful Zuni piece. If you will bear with me for just a second, I'm going to go back now to the page that I skipped, and I want to show you what I skipped out on. So going back to page 21, I have this wonderful necklace by Pat Bedonie. Look at that stone. It is delicious. You don't find stones like that these days. You also have that centerpiece that is 14 karat gold, and then some really nice beads. I'll put this on. It doesn't look amazing with the earrings I have on. So this is kind of a good example of how not everything that is native made looks great together. So I'm going to take these off, and I want to show you the rest of the pieces on this page 21 so that we can move to some pieces that look a little bit better together. I have a Ned Nez bracelet here that picks up on this same motif that you saw in the Pat Bedonie pendant. This is just plain silver, but it's so lovely. My dad, my dear father, had just a few pieces of native jewelry. I think he had a ring and he had one bracelet that was very much the style that I have today. And that was it. Even though every single year we came out to New Mexico and we traveled through the Southwest, and he let his daughters purchase this gorgeous native jewelry, he was more restrained in his purchasing, except for a bracelet just like this. And that was enough for him. He loved it, and now I have it. So that's the Ned Nez piece. And then I have some Mike Bird Romero earrings. Most of you probably know Mike Bird Romero more from the beautiful and wide cuffs that you have seen him do. Occasionally he does earrings, occasionally he does rings, and I'm thrilled to have some earrings. Really pretty turquoise. And I'll put them in. These are on hooks, really elegantly done. And the last piece I have on this page is a ring. It's another piece by Pat Bedonie, and I broke my rule for the catalog on this page, like I did with the page of the Yazzie and Gail jewelry. I had multiple pieces of one artist on the same page, and I did the same thing here. So you see these earrings. They're so pretty, and they're easier for me to put on. I hope you feel like you're kind of zooming with me in real time, just sitting there right across from me, and we're having a little show and tell together. So this is the Pat Bedonie ring. We have this same linear look that we're going for on this page, and I love how the stone drops down below the finger. I just love that. I think it's so pretty. Pat Bedonie, Ned Nez, and Mike Bird Romero. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it so much. Where are we now? We are going to be starting on page 24. So we are coming to the final stretch of the catalog. But please join me because there's a lot of other fun pieces in this final stretch. Thank you, friends.